What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. What's up, doggy? Hopefully welcome back. Back at it again on this Vevor Tankless propane water heater saga. This is now part 3. If you haven't seen the other ones, check those out. Just got this this D-log cut off that the shower is going to mount to. Got the hole dug for that. Got that concreted in today. Here is the back side of that. As I said, it's, kind of pre-stained. And one thing I forgot to do in the last video was, if you can peer through here, see how that lines up just perfectly with the frost-proof yard hydrant. Just eyeballed that up. So yeah, we're gonna get some of these stickers cleaned off of the shower apparatus, get that mounted up there, maybe trim the top of the chainsaw if we need to. I've got some pieces here set up to where I can do some cutting and drilling. This is the 16 gauge. This is heavier duty metal. This is going to be what I'm going to cut the plates that go on the wall that the pipe goes through for that tankless propane water heater. This piece here is a little thinner. It is 22 gauge, and I'm going to turn this into a heat shield that's going to stay about 3/4 of an inch off of the wall, and there'll be 3/4 of an inch clearance between this and the water heater. That way the vents on the back aren't blowing all that hot air directly on the wall paneling. So we've got this shed siding board up in here. I've got this couple pieces of wood holding this up against the wall because I had to subfloor adhese that to the foam in the back because there's no wood back there. But that water heater is going to mount right there. If you haven't seen the other videos, I've got this window trimmed out in the cedar, and I'm going to picture frame it with the rest of that cedar trim. So, it's still, some weirdo hobo stuff, but life is going to be getting a little more better in a functional sense. What a great view. Window's dirty, but sure is nice to look outside and see all that. But yeah, so let's move forward with this project and get to doing some work. I like the way this looks. Let's start with this heat shield for the water heater. So I'm going to have 6 attachment points. I'm going to mark these out. Most people probably aren't doing stuff like this, but I like symmetry. I'm going to drill all these holes out, and that'll put the washer, I don't know if you can see it real good here, you know, kind of real close to the edge. It's going to look nice. So I've got all this stuff marked. Now we're going to drill it out for the hardware. I got this piece of foam so that way I'm not drilling into good wood. That's what I'm calling a quick tack coat. Let that stuff dry up. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff blowing around. This isn't the best time to be painting things, but this is just a, you know, flat black, high heat, gas grill paint. Doesn't require any primer or any of that stuff. So there's that. Now we're going to move on to this. So the pipe that we're going to be cutting through the wall for the, I guess call it a thimble for this hot water heater is 4-inch. I'm going to do 2 8-inch, just that way I've got plenty of room to cover everything. That thing drops down, so I want to leave plenty of room for error, if you will. All right, so we got all 4 of the mounting bolts drilled through there. Now I'm going to grab the pipe, and I got a new pole saw bit, I guess, if you will, drilling drum, whatever you want to call it. Let's get on that. This is 8-inch square. We're going to have a 4-inch pipe in the center, which is, you know, our second wall, and then this pipe is going through it. So my thought behind this was I'm going to cut the hole through the center on both of them, and wherever the plates land is where they land, okay? I know side to side where they're going to be, but up and down, there could be, I mean, 3/4 of an inch difference. So to compensate for that, we have a much larger plate. Now, this is kind of 2 pipes, but it's 1. So this is, you know, almost dead nuts what you need. 2 3/8. My concern is that this thing, these have a tendency to walk around a little bit, okay? 2 1/4 kind of loose. So I figure when this thing walks around a little bit, I can just come back in with a wheel and file fit this real nice. So we'll see if that works out or not. This is just kind of what I've got going on in my head. All right, well, I'm not real sure how I feel about that. The 2 1/4 was definitely way too small. I'm gonna really, really don't want to do this, but I'm gonna go up to the 2 3/8, nice and snug. I'm really afraid that this is going to be way too big. Only way to find out is to try, I guess. Okay, well, we got everything cleaned up. Looks like it's about to rain. You know, I've never really tried drilling with a hole saw in reverse. I've seen a lot of people say before that it's less prone to snagging and walking around. I didn't have the best experience, didn't have the worst experience. You know, this one here was the second one I tried to cut this with the 3/8 instead of the 1/4. The center hole ended up egg shaping out, so it was kind of walking around. I switched back over to the 1/4 inch. The hole looks very distorted because of the color. The hole came out fine, but if you look at these, you know, these were made matched. You know, it's basically, I don't know, 3/16 off of where the other one was. It's fine. You know, I built enough room in here to wiggle around. Like, I personally, I don't know if it's because of the burn mark, can really see that it's off center. I can deal with it. It's going to be okay. These things came out good in general. The fit is really well. There might be like a 64th gap here and there, but this isn't a machine shop. This is the best I can do. So I'm going to start hitting these guys with some of this paint, do a nice tack coat and set them off to the side. Just trying to get some stuff done. It is Saturday morning. As you can see, a little foggy last night. I guess it started at 4:30 to 11 last night. We had tornado warnings, tornado watch, whatever. Got all this stuff out of the old harbor hut, so you can get in here and get to doing some painting. Did my dishes, got the Berkey water filter filled up. Got these guys hanging over here so I can put a couple more coats of paint on these. I want to make sure I get these edges real good. Didn't get the edges real good yesterday, but we got a good tack coat on them. That's a heat shield. I mean, it's inside, so don't really need to worry about corrosion. But yeah, we had tornado warnings last night. We're supposed to have rain today, but we don't. It's not forecasted, at least. We'll see how that goes. I am looking to wrap this up, so let's get doing it. had to make a trip to Old Harbor Freight to pick something up. And I've got one of these little metal chop saws somewhere and I can't find it. So I got to cut some of these. This is what the bolts are going to go through to space that heat shield off from the wall, 3/4 inches. And then I'm going to cut some more of these to space the hot water heater off the wall to establish another 3/4 inches of air gap on the other side. So got this set up, and I'm going to make a little tool to help me. I decided I was going to do lag bolts through the wall. I feel like it would get better support that way. Let's go inside here. The temperature was low, humidity was high, so I ended up bringing this Big Daddy dehumidifier in here. Looking good now. This paint really just wasn't wanting to dry. It was kind of tacky. Could probably get away with this, but I really like the way this paint looks after 2 or 3 coats. So we're gonna do another coat. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out and keep it moving. Well, I managed to make these 6 spacers for that heat shield. And then I made this little tool here. I'm going to need to drill through the wall, and it's about 6 inches thick. So I made this guy here as a guide for this long drill bit. That way I can go straight through, because I was really worried about, I mean, I guess this is probably about 2 feet long. You know, you get off a little ways, and before you know it, this thing's, you know, a couple inches off of where you're trying to get it to. If this was steel, I could have just welded it to there, but I used this JB weld. Once this dries a little bit more, I'm going to put another layer. This stuff's pretty strong. It's called steel stick. So that dries fast and it'll cure quick, and I can go ahead and drill those holes for mounting the actual unit to the wall when I'm ready. But I thought that would be real helpful to keep the drill bit, you know, over the target, if you will. So I didn't film the second coat of paint. Nobody really needs to see that. Definitely looks a lot better with the second coat. I like how it's got a little bit of a, well, it's getting dark when I get close there. It's got a little bit of a reflective sheen. So now it's time to put that trim on. The dehumidifier is doing its job. It's warming it up in here, keeping the humidity low, so this stuff's good and dry. So we're going to go ahead and pull that tape off and get to installing some trim. heater. This is going to be the center mounting bolt. I'm going to drill completely through the wall with this long bit. I'm going to use this jig that I made to keep this thing from getting off center or target or whatever you want to call it. This appears to be the center of where we're going to have the pipe going through the wall. That's the size of the pipe, and we're going to be cutting a 4-inch hole through. So I'm also going to go straight through the wall with that long bit, and I'm going to hole saw through this side and that side to create the 4-inch hole that we're going to sleeve with that piece of metal. So I was trying to figure out where to put it. You know, I kind of like wanted it to be centered up here, but I was going to put the exhaust pipe real close to this roof, and it's like, hey, it would look nice there, but you know, when this place burns down, I may even still need to put a heat shield up here. We'll see. I have no idea how much heat this thing's going to generate off of that exhaust. We'll just have to see and go from there. But yeah, so I basically am going to have the top of the water heater level with the center of this window opening, and the bottom will be coming real close to the sill. So I think that's the most appealing place to put it, and we've got, you know, about 2 feet of space to the ceiling. I think that's the way to go. So I'm going to start my holes with this drill, and then we'll use the drill I was talking about to finish them. Okay, so they want 3% of drop. Right there is 5. Right there is 3. So that puts us pretty much about dead center in the middle of here. So it looks like we're good on that particular measurement. So this is the closest that you could have this pipe in, and that's the furthest that you could have that pipe out. I think further out would probably be better. Tell you what, drilling a 4-inch hole is a little scary. And just so you can see the back, in case you didn't watch the other videos, it appears that some air is being vented out of these areas, and this is what I want the heat shield to be there for. So I think that's where it's going to go. This is 12. Spacers that we made. looks like we need to make a 1-inch spacer. It's Sunday morning. Got things cleaned up in there. Got a bunch of the tools moved out. It was like a bomb went off. So let's take a look at what we got going on here. The camera didn't record some of what I was doing. You can see we got that thimble in there. It's real nice. Got the heat shield. Here are the 2 mounting bolts for... What's up, buddy? Why are you crying? You want to be in the video? Is that what's going on? So, yeah, this thing's... Oh, and there's the little spacers that I made. Like I said, the camera didn't record everything I was doing, or I got a call and what, I don't know. Anyhow, so yeah, this is looking nice and clean. I'm really happy with all this. I'm going to get this thing mounted up and then start on the actual plumbing. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to cap this video off here. Next video will be, you know, running some water and showing how this thing works. But I really appreciate you guys watching. If you're not subscribed yet, you find this interesting, hit the subscription button. It's free. It helps me out. Maybe something pops up in the future you want to watch. You're like, hey, there's that channel, you know, and you know, sometimes I forget about channels, so I subscribe to a lot of channels because if I like what somebody's doing, maybe I don't like all their videos, but I do like to watch some or most of their videos. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.